everybody. I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Chris Yi.
And welcome to the not nerd, that's wrong. I hate the word nerd. The geek section of the Dice Tower.
Dorkosaurus.
I'm back to geek. Anyhow, we're talking about games played at Dice Tower East and how many times they've been checked out. Chris put the stuff together in a spreadsheet, and I'm just going to steal all this stuff.
Steal away.
A couple caveats here, a couple things. So this is going from our Dice Tower library, which we had at Dice Tower East. People checked out the games. It is possible that an error could be made when checking things out or checking things in.
This is sealed tight, like an airlock, Tom. Airtight.
Yeah. Right. Well, so sometimes someone might check a game in, but it showed that the game was checked out. And so there's a lot of stats that could be messed up a little bit by that. But there's the bigger numbers get, the better information you can get. So we talk about games at the retreat. I've done my top 10 from there, but I'm just getting a feel because there was 200 people. Here there was 1,700 people, and we had how many checkouts total?
Total checkouts of 5,444. A nice number there, actually.
And it was 1,322 games, which incidentally means there was about 900 games in the library that never got checked out.
That is true. That's the rule of inverses there. So we don't have a list of all the games that got checked out 0 times. It would take us a very long time to list those out alphabetically.
Right.
But if you want to watch Tom do that...
Well, even then, let's see, 1322 minus 905, 400, there's about 400 games.
417.
Oh, you already wrote that down.
Yeah, 417 games only got checked out 1 time.
All right, well, then just read up through them, except read up to 10.
Read up to 10? Okay. So games that were checked out twice is 271, 3 times, 153 different games. 4 times was 110, 5 times 73, 6 times 52, 7 times 44, 8 times 40, 9 times 24, 10 times 25. So they're getting smaller, right? Fewer games get checked out a monstrous amount of times.
Right, so this is how we're going to do this. We're going to start here at ones and just look at the ones, and I'll mention a couple games I'm surprised only got checked out 1 time, then 2 times. And we'll just keep going through that. Actually, we're going to start with something else first, but then we'll do that. Until we get to the final 20. Actually, it's the final 22. That's because there were ties in games. And we'll go through those exactly and tell you what they are. However, there's a piece of data here that's going to mess everything up, and that is the hot games. So the hot game room, hot game area, we put out games on tables, and those games stayed set up. Now, some of those games also had a duplicate copy in the library, but some of these games I think would have maybe made the top 10. We don't know. I will say that all the games that had duplicates in the Dice Tower library did really well. So, for example, we had Wild Serengeti, Terracotta Army. What was the other game from Board and Dice there? Was it Founders of Teotihuacan?
Was that one there?
Or was it Zapotec? What was the other game that they had there?
It wasn't Zapotec.
They had two games. One was Terracotta Army, very popular. Wonderland's War, Dead Reckoning, X-Men United, which we did have a copy in the library, but I don't remember how many times that was checked out. Transmissions, Return to Dark Tower, mostly because the tower setting it up and down would be a pain. Star Wars Villainous, and Planet Unknown. All those games had no correlating games in the library. I suspect at least Planet Unknown and maybe Wild Serengeti would have been very high up.
Pretty high up, yeah.
Now, the ones that did have copies in the library, we had 2 copies of Ark Nova out. And it's still, the 3rd copy that was in the library still got checked out 17 times. 16 times. 16 times. That's pretty impressive.
16 times. Wait, really quick. That means it was checked out more than 80% of all other checkouts in the library.
And that's with it being a 3-hour game.
And 2 of them already
set up
tables.
to play. I mean, so that being said, it could have been number 1. But also, as a spoiler, in our top 10, only one of our top 10 had 2 copies in the library. So any of those could have gone even farther had there been 2 copies of them. It's impossible to know.
Right.
Dune Imperium, we had that set up with the expansion, and yet the other Dune Imperium got checked out 15 times.
Whew.
Lost Ruins of Arnak, the other copy of that got checked out 16 times. And then Carnegie, The other copy of that got checked out 14 times.
Wow.
So I actually felt pretty good about that because it showed me we did I think a pretty decent job at picking the hot games. Although again, there was a few games in the top 10 that had I known they would have been that popular, I would have put them in the top hot games.
In the hot games area. Interesting, yeah. It's hard to predict that type of thing because you never know. The hot game I think that was played, the hot game I think that maybe had the most open table space was, interestingly, the X-Men Marvel United.
Well, that's my fault. Because I wanted to set it up with the Sentinels.
Because they look awesome.
They did. But that meant if you never played the game, you had to learn how to play the game and how to play the Sentinels.
Yeah.
And that's a bit of a pain. But it was kind of a neat set piece. Most of the games in the hot games were in play a lot. I mean, I saw the tables empty occasionally, but not... I always threatened, I'm like, if no one plays this game, I'm tearing it down. I didn't do that with any of them.
Right.
And then again, the Arc Novas were, I think, the hottest in the hot games area. They were always full, other than maybe the Terracotta Army was always being played, because that's not out yet, and people love games that aren't out yet.
Right.
So, putting multiple copies in the library is kind of a pain in the neck, because you're never quite sure how many copies you need. And every year you need less copies. Games that were super popular, they always go down. In our top 10, only a couple of in the top 20, only a couple of those games are games that are older than 2 years. The rest are all brand new. That's just how it works.
Right. It's just always going to be that way. And any game that has that type of sticking power is by far an outlier. One question that was addressed in the chat was, are we including kids games? Yes, the kids game library, that shelf, is in these checkouts and stuff. Also, surprise, none of them are in the top 10.
Not only are none of the kids games in the top 10, but I went through here and was checking a few things. There was a couple kids games that got played a little bit, and I'll mention that as we go through. There's a lot of kids at Dice Tower East, but not a ton. There's way more adults than kids. So that's also that. And some of the kids who come, their parents don't want to play kids games with them, so they play adult games with them, or family games, or what have you. So we're going to go through this, and when we're done, if you want to, we'll open it up, and you say, what about this game? Maybe we can tell you how many times that game was checked out. But starting with the ones, I was looking through the ones. How many ones do we have again?
It was 407, or 400, sorry. Let's go back up to the top. 417, yeah.
Yeah, so on these, some of the ones that surprised me that they only got played once. I erroneously said a couple weeks ago that Blood Rage was played not at all. Then someone sent me a picture of them playing Blood Rage, and lo and behold, Blood Rage was played once. We have 2 copies of Blood Rage in the library. We're going down to 1. If it's only played once, you only need it once. Rising Sun was also, it was either played once or twice. And the reason I say that is because you have this box 1 of 2, and Rising Sun, it's possible Rising Sun's in 2 boxes, that both boxes were checked out together. We don't know.
Right, it was either one play or it might have been 2 separate. But
either way, both those surprised me, because they're both very critically acclaimed, and everyone loves them, and I figured that's a good game to play at a con. But their younger sibling Ankh will show up later on this list. Mm-hmm. I was happy to see someone played the Magic the Gathering cube I built only once. So if you never played Magic the Gathering, it's fun to draft, but to draft you have to buy packs. So I built a cube of common cards so that no one steals them, and then people will play that.
Spiky Dastards got checked out. Was that by one Roy Canada?
Probably.
He's nodding his head, yes.
Llama got checked out once. Okay, this one surprised me. Hippocrates. Because that's a brand new spanking game.
Yes.
I was surprised. Also, Food Chain Magnet only got checked out once. Which surprised me, especially since I put so much effort into upgrading that one.
Oh, you have it upgraded?
I do.
I haven't seen that. Interesting.
I should probably show that one off on my How I Fixed Food Chain Magnet. Going through these, there's a lot of games. The Ticket to Ride maps were all checked out once. There's just so many games to look at, and I think, wow, that Burn Cycle was only checked out once. That's another one that surprised me.
That is a huge surprise, because that might have been played more if it was on the hot games table, but it's it's a chip theory game. There's a bit to learn with it, but I don't know. I don't know why people, wouldn't have checked it out, even just to kind of look at it. It's impressive.
Anachrony only got checked out once. Mm-hmm. That's another big one I was surprised about. Barrage only got checked out once. Yeah, there's a lot of these ones. To me, there's just a lot of surprises. Like some I go, okay, I see that St. Mao only got checked out once, and Rolling Ranch only got checked out once. But then when I go through and I'm like, oh, where's one that surprised me that was only once? Oh, Time's Up. That's a great party game to play at a convention. All right, that's enough with the ones. Let's go to twos.
All right.
How many twos we got?
Twos, there were 271 games were checked out 2 times, which is 10% of all checkouts.
So this one, hey, someone played it and they wanted to play it again. Again, some of these kind of surprised me a little bit. I'm looking through here. Summoner War should be checked out more than twice. It's a great game. The Gallerist only got checked out twice, and that's one of the
so to speak, more approachable Vital Lacerda games.
Yeah, Pulsar 2849. So it's funny, some of these games that were so hot just a couple years ago were only checked out twice.
We have Cryo is only checked out twice, and that's too bad. That's a really good game.
I don't know I like it, but I can see that one I think is going to fall off the...
I think that's the thing. It's one of those games that it didn't make a huge splash, so even though it's relatively new, 2 checkouts, that's the hard thing about crafting a library.
I'm looking through here. Alhambra the Big Box got checked out twice. Dos de Mayo got checked out twice. How convenient.
Formula E got checked out twice. I'm going to call that the Mike DeLisio effect.
And you know what? We're going to see that effect throughout this list, because some games that get checked out a lot are games that we've raved about recently, which then makes people want to play them. All right.
But as an inverse to that, 51st State was only checked out twice. And maybe that's because there's so many newer games.
That's true. Maybe Z was both of those. All right, let's go to threes. How many threes we got?
All right, threes is 153 games were checked out 3 times.
And that percentage is?
8.4.
All right.
And that's a percentage of all checkouts. So you would do 154 times 3, and then divide that by the total of 5,444. Yeah.
Race for the Galaxy was only checked out 3 times. By the way, as a side note here, I printed these out because I want to be able to go through the library when I'm picking games to pull from the library. If no one checked it out, that makes it easier for me to pull it out. And I should hesitate to say, if only one person's checked it out, I still might pull it out. I've heard a few people have dutifully checked games out to make sure I don't pull them out. That will not stop me. So, for example, War Room was checked out, but I'm still likely going to pull that from the library, if only because I can fit 10 other games in its spot.
You're not kidding.
Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion was checked out 3 times, which makes sense because it is kind of a big game to get into, and that's why Gloomhaven's not in the library.
Right.
Cthulhu Wars was checked out 3 times. Captain Sonar was checked out 3. I would actually think that one would get checked out more. After the Empire was only checked out 3 times, which is a bummer. It's a newer game. I'm actually surprised, though, at Ascension Tactics being checked out only 3 times. And I'll tell you why, because there's a correlation to games being shown off by exhibitors and them getting played. And we're going to see that later on.
Yeah.
Some games got played a lot. And Ultra Pro was there showing off Ascension deck builders, so Ascension Tactics. So who knows?
2 games I'm happy to see were checked out at least 3 times is El Grande the Big Box and Cupcake Empire.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Cupcake Empire.
Cupcake Empire is a fun little quirky game, and I don't know if it's because maybe it's been on a few top 10 lists, or if people just really like that one. But great, I'm glad it's still being checked out.
Let's jump to 4. How many 4s we got?
110 games were checked out 4 times, which is 8.1% of all checkouts.
The Giant Takinoko is on that list, as well as Ticket to Ride Europe 15th Anniversary, which I saw at least 2 of those games, and Ticket to Ride Markland. And I'm glad, because you should, when you go to a con, try to play the rarer games if you can, and Markland is not easy to find.
No, it's not.
Let's see in here.
Whoa. this one stands out to me. Brass Lancashire was checked out 4 times, and Brass Birmingham is going to be more than that.
That's true. Now, we do have 2 copies of Brass Birmingham, but even if we divide them by 2, it's more than 4.
I think you were really surprised by this one, Tom. 4 checkouts for Libertalia Winter Galecrest.
Yeah, you know, for everyone raving about the new version of Libertalia, that's pretty low for an entry from Stonemaier Games for me. Yeah, I was very surprised on that one. And a lot of games that are new. First Empires is pretty new.
Okay.
That's from the company who made Res
Arcana.
Res Arcana. Dinosaur World from Pandasaurus got checked out 4 times.
Sniper Elite, the board game.
I do like this. Cosmic Encounter was checked out 4 times. 3 of those times were me. So, come on, everybody. And the big 3D edition of Catan was checked out 4 times. So I'm very happy with that. I like to see the big editions of games get checked out.
4 checkouts for Rolled Through the Ages, the Bronze Age. That game is still getting played.
That's true. Battlestar Galactica got checked out 4 times. So that's good. I wonder where. Can you quick do an unmatched search?
No,
it's not unmatched. It's
Fathomable?
Unfathomable. Yes, sorry.
Let me spell it correctly. Unfathomable was 2 times.
Interesting.
I think people still just prefer that Battlestar Galactica skin on
Unfathomable. We'll see. We'll watch it next time. But if it doesn't get any checkouts, it's out. And we'll keep Battlestar Galactica. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, 5s. How many 5s we got?
There were 73 games checked out 5 times.
Now,
making up 6.7% of all checkouts.
2 of the unmatched made that list. Unsettled. Regular Ticket to Ride. Well, I'm sure people were trying out the different map packs too. Sword Crafters. I actually was considering kicking Sword Crafters out of the library.
It's a weird game.
But it got checked out 5 times.
Which is more than, what do we say here? So any game that was checked out 5 times was checked out more than 34% of any other games in the library.
Yeah, it's interesting. So 2 is the biggest grouping.
Yeah, making up 10%. So 10% of all games that were checked out twice.
Let me know when we pass 50. That's going to be soon. We're almost there now, aren't we?
Just about. So when we get to 7.
7 games is 50%. All right. Also in here we have Kemet, King of Tokyo. I saw those. The Rhino Hero Super Battle. Of course, people are playing that. Seasons. It's good to see people playing that one. And the giant smash up I have, that makes me happy because that was a lot of effort. Dice Throne Adventures was played 5 times, which was 5 more times than I thought it would be played.
Yeah.
Cthulhu Death May Die was checked out 5 times. Abyss, that's pretty good for an older game. Beast of Balance, I guess people want to check that one out.
And that's kind of a cool place to try it out if you don't want to buy the whole electronic doohickey, you know. Ethnos 5 times. Yes, there you go.
I thought that would be higher, actually.
Yeah, well, I wasn't checking out too many
The
games.
Giant Jenga was checked out 5 times. The Giant Jenga is moving out of the library onto just a permanent dexterity table next year, though. We're going to be doing that with many of our big dexterity games. Well, we did that with a few this year, and that seemed to be popular. They were played the whole... Our Crokinole boards, I almost never walked by and did not see someone playing on them.
And I bet that if we had... we had a Crokinole in the library, actually, and it's not showing as registered having been checked out. I mean, it makes sense. We had 2 permanently sitting right at the entryway.
And they're really, really cool looking boards. Why would you go check out the more janky looking one?
Yeah. But I bet if we had had those boards in the library, they wouldn't have gotten checked out. You know what I mean? At least not that many times.
Not that many times, yeah.
But yeah, just having the dexterity games out front and center. I'm not going to go to conventions and say, hey, let's play roulette or one of those things. But if it's sitting around already set up,
yeah,
I'll go over there.
All right, 6s. How many 6s do we have?
There were 52 games that were checked out 6 times, making up 5.7% of all checkouts.
And one of them was Carcassonne Star Wars, which I think is hilarious. That it has no theme in it at all, but it's Carcassonne Star Wars. You know, people Probably walked by, looked at it, and was like, "Huh? We got to try this."
Right, novelty factor is high on that one.
Century Spice Road, Ducks in Tow. I'm glad to see that. I honestly thought that one might not make it.
And Gingerbread House is also on that list. I feel like that's kind of by the wayside game, but I'm glad people still like that one. It's really good.
Eclipse is checked out 6 times, and we mentioned that because a game that was never checked out, Twilight Imperium. Right? Sound on Noise. I think we already looked this one up.
Yeah, and that one really surprises me because conventions are.
It's possible that it got played there, and people just brought copies of it. Clue the Great Museum Caper.
Yes!
I told people to try that one out. I hope if you played it that you enjoyed it, because that's a really fun one versus many.
Now, really quick, Tom. Someone in the chat is arguing, dude. There's lightsaber battles in Star Wars Carcassonne.
Yeah, okay. What's Facilis? Oh, that's the one from...
Which one?
Facilis is the one from
Kids Table Board
Games.
New York Slice, still getting 6 checkouts. That's cool.
Oh, Kids Chronicles got played 6 times. Speaking of which, the one I was surprised it didn't get played much, and I think this was back in 2, was the...
Yummy Yummy Monster Tummy?
No, not that one. No one... That game, the name of Yummy Yummy Monster Tummy does not get people to play it, but that is probably my son's favorite game.
I can see that.
It's really, really fun.
Yeah.
And I like playing it with him, so it's one that he has to play, and I'm like, yes. No, the Unlock, the kids one, did not get checked out that much.
I think it's under Unlock Kids.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, Unlock Kids one time.
One time, and I'm telling you, folks, if you have kids, that is an amazing Unlock game.
It really is. And it might just be because it's affordable, and none of the unlocks got checked out a ton per se. I think the highest one is maybe 8 or so. I'm guessing that's the Star Wars one. Maybe, yeah. We'll cover that when we get to the 8s.
Yeah, no, I don't mind that. I mean, that's what it is. Yeah, but I'm glad to see people playing the unlocks. That's one of the benefits of having an escape room game that's replayable. We can stick them in a Dice Tower library.
Yeah.
All right. 7s.
7. So 44 games were checked out 7 times.
Wait, did we already do 6s?
We just did 6s.
Yeah, we just did 6s. Oh, real quick before we jump out at 7s. Marvel Bobsleigh got played 6 times. I think it's hilarious. And Marvel Legendary got played 6 times. That I'm surprised about.
That is cool.
Back to you.
All right. So 7 checkouts. 44 games were checked out 7 times. 5.7%. This is the halfway point. Kind of in the middle here is when we hit. Half of the games were checked out fewer times than this. Half of the games were checked out more than this.
All right, so 7, we're starting to see games that we know people like to play. I'm trying to look for ones here that stand out to me. Project Elite got played 7 times, so I'm glad to see that.
That's really cool. Hadara got 7 plays, which I'm glad, because that's a game that I don't think it made a big splash, but it's really good.
Magic the Gathering Commander decks got checked out 7 times. Well, that's cool.
I saw a lot of Magic being played. I was surprised when you said the cube was only once, but I guess you have 2 different.
Yeah, the Commander decks, it does have a bunch of Commander decks in there. So they're the pre-built ones.
I think I saw the same family playing with the Commander decks a few different times.
Got it.
And then a few other people.
That's a good way to check them out. Awkward Guess was checked out 7 times. The sequel to Awkward Guess, Scandalo, was only checked out once, and I get that because those rules are very difficult. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, there's very few of these games I don't recognize. King Domino's only 7 times. There was once upon a time that would have been near the top of the list.
Yeah, especially because it's so short, you can burn through it. Meeple Land got played 7 times.
Now, number 222 comes up later on. I only ask this because it's also here. How did you differentiate those?
Oh, interesting. I didn't.
I'm trying not to spoil something. Hang on.
It's hard because we don't know when just one got checked out or when they were checked out as a grouping.
We allowed some people to check them out as a grouping? All right, well, we'll mention one later on.
I actually don't know, yeah. So that's a good point. That might bump up that total. Sorry to be oblique.
All right, 8s.
Oh, really quick, I was going to say that.
Oh, yeah, there's another one. And 8s, too.
That'll be interesting. One last thing I was going to say at sevens, Raw is in there 7 times.
But I'm not surprised in that because it was just on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So people want to play the game they backed.
That's a good point. I wonder if that'll go up or down when it fulfills and when there's the new version and everything. 8 games that were checked out 8 times, 40 of them, making up 5.9% of all checkouts.
I'm glad to see Glory of the Realm Black Box Edition got checked out 8 times.
I'm also glad I got checked in 8 times.
Well, yeah. Here's the one that I'm personally giddy about is that 8 people checked out Chocolate Factory, since that's such a cool upgrade that we did to that game. And it's also a good game. But I think people are checking out because one of the things that affected, I'm sure, checkouts was we made little top 10 lists that we stuck in a book and said 10 games that are buffed out and expanded and stuff. And you can definitely see a correlation to those lists and games people checked out. Mm-hmm. Like, I think Clue the Museum Caper was on one of those lists. I know Chocolate Factory was on one.
One of your most blinged out, most upgraded games, yeah.
Rear Window was checked out 8 times. That one's getting a lot of buzz. King of Tokyo Dark Edition 8 times. I'm surprised on that one. I thought that was kind of a flash in the pan.
I think people, I know Camilla, for example, talks about that. It's her preferred version of King of Tokyo. Dark Edition 8 checkouts and regular King of Tokyo 5. And you even have like a jumbo box of all of the King of Tokyo stuff.
Yeah.
But also, to be fair, if I wanted to try it for the first time, I would go find the smaller box.
I also agree. That's why I kept that smaller one in there. Fantastic Factories. I think I taught at least 1 or 2 of those games. Aqua Garden, a pretty game being played. The new Cat in a Box. That only got played 8 times, but I bet that one will go up once it's out more and people hear more about it. The Crew, Mission Deep Sea.
Okay. It's not the hottest, newest thing, but still.
And 2 more Unmatched. Man, the Unmatched got checked out a lot. Which bugs me because I made this big, giant box of Funko-verse, and that got checked out once, right? The Funko-verse?
That's a good question. It might have been.
I think it got checked out.
Sorry.
Oh. Actually, it might not have gotten checked out at all.
I don't see anything for Funko, yeah.
I went to all that trouble. I spent a lot of time finding a storage solution for Funkoverse, and then no one checked it out.
One thing I'll notice is that the World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King at 8 checkouts is the most checked out pandemic game. It makes sense. It's the newest. It's a cool theme and everything.
Let's look at the pandemics then. What are the other ones?
Let's see. So it was Pandemic Iberia got 6 checkouts. Base Pandemic got 2 checkouts. Rising Tide got 2. Hot Zone Europe, Hot Zone North America got 1 each, and then Fall of Rome got 1. Oh, The Cure got checked out 1 time. The dice one.
I think I saw that one being checked out. All right, so the winner is what again?
Wrath of the Lich King with 8 checkouts.
Well, we painted the miniatures in that one, so there's that.
It does look pretty great.
It's also the only one with miniatures. All right, 9s. Now we're getting into small groupings.
All right, 24 games got checked out 9 times, making up 4% of all checkouts.
Another Unmatched. So Tokyo Highway surprised me.
Okay.
Because that's a really pretty game. I wonder if this is one that people saw, said, what is that? And then checked it out later.
Okay.
Also Scythe. I'm not surprised at Scythe.
Hansa Teutonica got 9 checkouts.
That's you. That's all you. Did you put on one of those top 10s?
Did I forget if I did like a dry Euro. I think it might have been on my list of games good with 5 players.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
And definitely Ankh. So Ankh here. So Rising Sun and Blood Rage got checked out once, and Ankh got checked out 9 times. Go figure.
Yinch got checked out 9 times.
I am surprised at that. Oh, the Siege of Rundar, that's probably for Mike. And then the regular crew got checked out 9 times. One more time than the sequel. I would have actually thought it was the opposite.
Huh. Yeah, I would have thought that too.
Great Western Trail shows up here. Machikoro 2, Moonrakers, Scythe.
Terraforming Mars Ares card game. Star Wars Jabba's Palace. So that makes me wonder what is the most checked out love letter.
Yes, because we've seen all these. Okay, I like this. Okay, Jabba's Palace I think is number 1 at 9. Then Infinity Gauntlet, 6.
6. Love letter Batman only twice.
What about regular love letter?
How the mighty have fallen.
I don't think we might not have regular love letter in the library.
I don't think so. I mean, why would you? Batman's better, and then the recent reskins are.
We'll put in the new deluxe one when that comes out. Probably the one that has all the love letter stuff in it.
I guess.
That's still though. It's good. It's getting played.
Yeah, no, I really like that.
All right, 10s. Are there more 10s than 9s?
Yeah, 25 games got checked out 10 times. Only 24 for 9s.
That's it. We go down from here. All right. Another unmatched. All right, I think that's the last unmatched, so let's look at all the unmatched.
You know what? Yeah.
Let's see which unmatched got checked out the most.
I can filter by unmatched.
All right, here we go.
Oh.
Here we go for real.
All right.
So the
Battle of Legends Volume 1 was checked out 10 times.
and some of these actually have other unmatched stuff in them. So I don't actually remember what's in each one, but it tells you in the lid.
Okay.
So every unmatched has more than just that base game inside it because there's so much unmatched stuff.
Okay, yeah. So Goblin Fog 9 times, Hell's Kitchen 8, Jurassic Park Sattler vs. Rex 8, Redemption Row was 7, Buffy the Vampire Slayer was 5, and then Jurassic Park InGen vs. Raptors 5.
52 times unmatched in total.
Yeah, I don't know how many of that was together or if individual games, because that's really
impressive.
That's really impressive, yeah. For a single game
that would
system.
shoot unmatched to number 1 if we added those all together.
Yeah. Yep.
But we're not. All right. In other 10, Switch and Signal, which I still have yet to play. Tapestry got 10 plays, but Tapestry does have 2 copies.
Same thing with Le Havre, which also got checked out 10 times. How many of those were you?
I don't think I ever checked it out, but I definitely, of those 10 times, taught 3 or 4 of them. Because people asked me to teach it. Tumbling Dice got checked out 10 times, so that makes me happy.
Nice, yeah.
And Roger the Ganges. Oh, the giant Rhino Hero, of course.
Quacks & Co., so that's the kids' version of Quacks & Quedlinburg, got checked out 10 times.
That might be one of their most checked out kids games for sure. Actually, no, I wrote the most checked. No, I wrote the most checked out party game.
Okay.
Dominion got checked out 10 times, and
That makes
then
me happy.
one of the Dice Thrones, the Dice Throne Season 2.
For Sale got checked out 10 times. A few of those were me. That was an easy game to teach in between running around to different things. But I'm happy. Golem got checked out 10 times.
That is pretty impressive. Clank, 10 times. Point Salad, Mind Management 10 times. That's a pretty big game. All right, 11s.
All right, so 11s, 22 games got checked out 11 times. That makes up 4.4% of all checkouts. Oh, you know what I want to check really quick, Tom, before we get too far? Let me check one thing. In the 8s,
we missed that. We should have said that. Yes.
Yeah,
This
in the
makes me
8s.
really happy.
So in the 8s, Small World, the deluxe designer chest got checked out 8 times. I saw that thing being played a ton.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I was one of the proponents of axing it, selling it off or something, because
It did not get checked out. The last time we had the full library was Dice Tower West 2020
okay,
with a big group of people. And
Yeah.
I don't think it got checked out more than once.
right. At the retreats, it doesn't get played. Did it go on the cruise?
No, because it was too big. I didn't feel like taking
yeah.
it.
Yeah, and I just kind of feel like it just feels like such an unwieldy thing. But it got played 8 times.
And Holly just painted it.
Yeah.
It's a really valuable game at this point. It's pretty pricey. I don't even know how I would get rid of it. I don't think I would, because I think it's worth $2,000.
Whew.
You know, they're never going to make it again, so it gets rarer as time goes by.
Yeah, but I'm glad people are playing it, because does it matter if we have something valuable on the shelf? Not really, unless people are playing it and having fun with it. And that's in addition to Small World regular being checked out twice and Small World of Warcraft being checked out twice. So Small World got in total a good number of plays.
You know, someone mentioned there about Bruce Lee. I should do that in the book. I'll have to remember next year to say what unmatched are in other boxes, because Bruce Lee's in one of the boxes. I think he's in like Battle of Legends Volume 1 probably.
Oh, because he's a standalone box, right?
Right, so some of those smaller boxes I put in other things, and some I'm going to combine. When the new Marvel sets come out, I think there's 2 more Marvel sets coming, I'll combine them with the other Marvel sets.
I thought it was reduced to 1. I think
No, there's still 2 more coming.
Oh, okay.
There was going to be 5, now there's only 4.
Oh, okay.
Because there's a Squirrel Girl Marvel, Ms. Marvel one, and then an unannounced one. Probably unannounced. Woohoo! There's only 3. Okay.
Oh,
anyhow.
Yep. 11s. Hey, Barron Park.
Bullet got checked out 11 times. Bullet Star.
Bullets.
Bullet Heart. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Bullet Star is a sequel.
They're
I
the
don't
same.
think I took Bullet Star. So Magical Athlete 11 times. Now that one I may have checked out 4 or 5 on my own.
Yeah.
Marvel Champions 11 times. How many of those times were you, Roy?
I had my own copy, so 0.
Oh.
0. All right.
And a lot of people had their own copy.
Yeah, people were playing that.
And so that brings up a good point. Most played games is obviously untrackable because we can't know.
Yeah, we go around, we're like, we need you to click what game you're playing. We like to keep track.
Yeah, but in terms of checkouts, the fact that Marvel Champs got checked out 11 times, and yet Roy Cannaday is teaching 17 tables all at the same time with his own personal copy, that's going to make that one of the most played games at the con, I think.
Townsville Tussle got played 11 times. I'm glad.
That's awesome.
Space Station Phoenix. I'm surprised at Stardew Valley.
I'm really surprised by that.
But I think that's just because of the name. People's like, oh, Stardew Valley, and they pull it off the shelf.
Terrified. I think that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, and that's with it being checked out for a very long period of time at one point. Don't check games out for more than 8 hours.
Yes.
What was the other one in here I went to? Oh, Downforce with the upgraded. It now has 2 sets of cars in it. You can use the Mario Kart cars, or you can use the cars from the movie Cars.
The Pixar cars, yeah.
All right, that's 11s. Let's jump to 12s.
All right, 14 games got checked out 12 times, making up 3.1% of all checkouts.
Here's Marvel United, shows up here. Do we have X-Men United as a separate one? Can you check on that?
I combined Marvel, because we had 2 boxes of Marvel United and X-Men. So that's
3
12.
boxes. It was also set out on the table, too, so not really sure. The new Tidal Blades Banner Festival was checked out 12 times. You won't see that next year.
That's going to drop.
I feel very confident on that. The Red Cathedral.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I think that one might kind of continue, especially because it helped that an expansion was being demoed by DeVere.
You're right. DeVere's there, and that helps a lot, too.
Yeah.
Star Wars Outer Rim. Fortunately, we quick shoved in the expansion, so I'm sure people want to do that. Paleo's pretty high up there for being an older co-op game at this point. And Grand Austria Hotel.
Yeah, I mean, Grand Austria Hotel has real staying power. It's right here with Monsters on Board, which is a brand new game, right? Well, Sagrada also is checked out 12 times. The games that really stand the test of time are, you look at them and they're very obvious.
All right. That's 12s. Now we're going to start combining numbers because we're going to move a little faster until we get to the top 20. 13s and 14s.
Okay, there were 11 games checked out 13 times, 7 games checked out 14 times.
I already mentioned Carnegie. Blood in the Clock Tower was checked out 14 times. No surprise there.
And that's also with people having their own copies and everything, so you would see multiple games of it being played at the same time.
All right, and also the very first time you'll see one of the 4 Azuls. Azul is definitely probably the most popular franchise we have, considering, I mean, we already talked about Pandemics and Ticket to Rides. I guess maybe Unmatched is more popular, but yeah. Azul, the Stained Glass of Sintra, which in my opinion is the best of the 4, was checked out only 13 times.
We both agree on that, actually. Yeah, that's my favorite.
I think Mike agrees on that, too. I don't know why. I also think it's really pretty. Anyway, we'll see.
Are you joking about the Mike thing? Yeah.
Oh, no, you're right. Sorry.
Z. I think Z.
I think it's Z. Sorry, Z, not Mike. No, I know where Mike stands. Okay, Star Wars Queen's Gambit. Very happy. I paint it. Although, real quick, if you're watching this, if you have Star Wars Queen's Gambit came with extra figures for all the figures in it. It did. I may have used those figures for toys with my kids and they got destroyed, the extra ones. We are missing a couple figures from Star Wars Queen's Gambit. We're definitely missing a Gungan. We might be missing a droid, too. I forget. If you have an extra one, I'll buy them from you, the little extra pieces. So just email me and let me know if you have one. Blitzkrieg, 14 times. Yeah.
Oh, and Caesar, actually, 13 times.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Right neck and neck, basically. Radlands, 13 times. Fantastic. It's such a good little 2-player game.
All right.
Sleeping God, 13 times.
Although I do wonder how many of those times were, let's look at it. Let's put it back. But you never know.
I wonder. Quest for El Dorado 13 times also.
That's one of them. The other Quest for El Dorado was already on the list.
You're right. 5 times for that one, 13 for this other one. So.
And I still don't have the Detroit one. I know every time I say, don't send me an email how to buy it overseas. I know how to buy it overseas, but I'm still waiting. It was pretty pricey when I looked it up.
All right. 15 checkouts, 7 games. 16 checkouts, 11 games.
All right. So Obsession, I'm not surprised at Obsession. In fact, we debated on putting it on the hot games table.
We really did, which is absurd for a game as old as it is.
Yeah. The new Planted, which, by the way, our review of that's going up this week. Wormholes from AEG. Dune Imperium, I already mentioned that. And that was with a copy being on the hot games area. Paint the Roses. Oh, and Root. Root we had 2 copies of. But still 16 times. Root's not going away anytime soon.
No. Maglev Metro 16 times.
Yes. And Gutenberg. Those are both pretty hot games. So is Dwellings of Eldervale. We're like in the hot games territory. With the exception here, it's not hot. It's hot because we've been pushing it. Dodo's Riding Dinos. I'm so pleased.
Yes.
16 times.
Was that on your painted games list?
It was. So there's that. But we've also been pushing it because you talk about a game to play at a con, this is one. It's silly. It's funny.
It's not too long. Yeah, it hits all those things perfect. All right, 17 games were checked out. Sorry.
Well, now we're going to do 17, 18, and 19.
Okay, so games that were checked out 17 times, there were 4 of them. 6 games got checked out 18 times. 9 games got checked out 19 times.
All right, so these are the last ones before we get to our top 20. Quacks of Quedlinburg, Wingspan, and Viticulture are all on this list, but they all have 2 copies each. Wingspan, 17 times for 2 copies it's still very good, don't get me wrong. But it's a far cry from a couple years ago when I needed 3 copies and they were never on the shelf.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Wingspan was number 1. Quacks, same thing. And Quacks has been hot. And again, Wingspan and Quacks, we're talking 2 very much people are still going to be playing these in a couple years because they're that popular.
Yeah.
And Viticulture, that one actually surprised me because these other 2, Wingspan and Quacks, will be played in a fairly reasonable time. Viticulture is a little bit longer of a game.
We have 2 copies of Viticulture. That helps, but it's just immensely popular. Azul Summer Pavilion. So this is the next Azul that we're seeing here.
Yep, that one's at 18.
Mm-hmm. Long Shot the Dice game, 18.
I'm not surprised. That game's getting very positive buzz.
Yeah, from us, from lots of people.
The surprise one here, I think, would be Three Sisters. That's pretty. I would not expect that one. I mean, I like it, but I didn't expect that one to get checked out 17 times.
Yeah.
Nidavellir, I'm not surprised at. Meadow, I'm not surprised at. Both of those 19. Cubitos. Chai. So Chai in the past has done really well at Dice Tower West because they come to Dice Tower West. They weren't here, and yet this one still does well. And it's not like it's a new hot game.
Yeah.
Chai was at Dice Tower West 2020.
You're right. Yeah.
This is the biggest disparity, I think, between me and the people because I'm like, really? I think Chai is okay.
A game that we push, First Rat, got checked out 18 times. I love seeing that. That's a great game. And then Brass Birmingham got checked out 19 times. That is, it's so different. The reception of Birmingham versus Lancashire, and they're both really.
Now there was 2 copies of that, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, but there's the demand for it, which it's funny because they're both great quality games, but one has definitely taken more of the public eye.
All right, here we go. Top 22, but that's because we have ties. And actually, our first tie is number 19. So these are all tied for 19. That's because they were checked out 20 times. We have Creature Comforts.
Okay.
That's the newest game from Kids at Table Board Games. Very cute. Well, it's one of the newest games, actually.
Yeah.
Picture Perfect, which, again, not surprised. Arcane Wonders is also there. It's a very popular game. And Vagrant Song. This one blows my mind.
Ooh,
20 times.
I need to play it. 20 other people, maybe 3 or 4 player games. This is what we're talking. 60, 80 people have played it before me. It's unacceptable. I expect a formal apology.
And our final 19 is where our stats get all messed up. And that's Marvel Dice Throne, the Scarlet Witch 4-player pack. The problem that we have is, pull them up, we got Marvel Dice Throne on the list a lot.
Well, even just Dice Throne in
Yeah,
general.
we'll just do Dice Throne in general. Okay, so Marvel Dice Throne got checked out 20. Season 1 Dice Throne got checked out 16 times. Season 2 got checked out 10 times. Black Widow versus Doctor Strange got checked out 8. I'm assuming the other one then, the one that got checked out 7, is Black Panther versus
Miles Morales.
Miles Morales. And then Dice Throne Adventures 5 times. 36, 46, 54, 61, 66 Dice Throne things were checked out.
Dice Throne Adventures is kind of an expansion, though, because you need a base game for some characters.
And it's possible, again, that some of these got checked out simultaneous so people could fight against each other.
Right. So, I mean, but still, 61 checkouts for like a base game of Dice Throne, that's actually more than Unmatched. Unmatched had 52 if you combined everything.
All right, now we jump. Those are our number 19s. Now we have a 3-way tie for 16. Oh, this is my least favorite grouping here. Okay, well, I'll pick the one I like. Dice Realms. This is the new one from Tom Lemon, the dice version of Dominion.
Craft
I'm
your
not
dice, pop out
surprised.
the faces, yeah.
The other two, okay, Scout. This was nominated for the Spiel des Jahres. I don't like Scout as much as everyone else does, but I get why people like it. You flip your cards one way or the other way. And then Dice Miner. These are, by the way, these all got checked out 21 times. I'm still mind boggled. I put Dice Tower on the get rid of pile. And then I went to the Gathering of Friends. Everyone was loving it there. I was like, fine, I'll put it back in the library. Maybe some people will like it. Holy cow! This game sucks, folks. What am I missing? This is a terrible game. I hate Dice Miner. It's so random and not... I don't know. You know what? It's staying in the library. Because the library is not based on my whims, usually. I mean, there's a little bit of whimmy in there, but if people like a game, it's staying in 21 times. I can't argue with that.
I haven't tried Scout or Dice Miner, actually, so I can't speak to that. Dice Realms, though, solid game. Very good.
All right, now we go to 14, a 2-way tie for 14. Beyond the Sun. Oh, yeah, 22 checkouts. Had 2 copies in the library. And it's a pretty decently long game, at least 2.5 hours usually, so... we might go down to 1 copy, but I don't know, 24 checkouts.
22 checkouts,
sorry.
yeah. I mean, maybe not soon because it is such a long game, too.
Well, also, there might be an expansion will come out then, you know.
All right.
And then the other one is our most popular party game, and that is So Clover.
Yeah, I mean, So Clover is just, this is such a great setting for that at a convention like this. I'm glad it's getting checked out.
All right, number 13, 23 times, 10 penny parks. People like amusement parks. I really think this should be a theme that we drive into the ground like over many other themes. I think I would rather play an amusement park game than a Marvel game. And I like Marvel a lot.
No.
Oh, I'm serious.
I'm joking that you like Marvel themes.
I do like Marvel,
yeah.
but I like amusement park themes.
I agree. It's a great theme. They tend to lend themselves to fun mechanisms that I also jive with.
I want Rosenberg to make an amusement park game. Come on, man. Get off the Pete. No one cares about Pete. Well, he does. I know it had something to do with his upbringing, and there was some backstory there. You know what? When I see him at Essen, I'll be like, I'll shake him. I'll be like, he won't understand.
You can build amusement parks out of Pete.
All right. Then we have a 4-way tie for number 8. So we're hitting the top 10 here. Space Base, these are all 24 times. Space Base, there was 2 copies of that, but still. Project L, we only had 1 copy of that. And it doesn't even have the name on the side of the box very well.
It just has a big blue L. And you know what? I'm surprised people like this one so much. I like it. I'm surprised that it's as popular as it is, and I'm happy for that. Good production, quick gameplay, easy gameplay. Yeah, cool.
Then we have Honey Buzz. No surprise there. Also, they were there.
Yeah, Merchants of the Dark Road was also pretty high. I think that one was 16 checkouts.
Okay.
So, yeah, the Elf Creek game.
Yeah, having Elf Creek be there and pointing people to their games. Mm-hmm. Then we had, what's the last one here? Seven Wonders Architects, 24 times. Also, Repos showed up and brought a giant version of Seven Wonders Architects. So that got played. Did you see that?
I didn't see it in person, but it's in the Dice Tower East vlog. If you want to see.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
I tried to steal it, but no dice. All right.
Yes.
Now we have a tie for number 7. One of these games I would have put on the hot games table had I thought about it, because it was the most requested to be played, I think, that people come up to me and say, where is this game? And that's Comic Hunters. I did not expect Comic Hunters to do that well.
25 checkouts. We push this game a lot, in part because if you're at our event, I think this is...
Also, you can't get this in America yet, and we're still working on it.
Right. But if you're at one of our events, try out a game that that you could play here and probably not that many other places. So I'm glad people are.
And then the second Azul Queen's Garden. This is the newest one, and I'll make the prediction that next year at Dice Diaries, this one drops to the lowest played one. I'll make that prediction.
You think so?
I think people are trying it out, and some people will like it more. I know some people really like it, but I think it's too complex to stay hot. I might be wrong, but I'm going to make that call. All right, a tie for number 5. Are you putting my predictions down? These were checked out 26 times. We have Furnace. Everyone loves Furnace. From Arcane Wonders.
In Hobby World, yeah.
And then Azul. Plain old, boring, vanilla Azul. I expect Mike DeLisio like to burst in the room like, Azul, I told you all.
Yeah.
Guess what? The other 3 combined are still better than Azul. That's statistical importance. But yeah, that's the oldest game in the top 10, I think.
Yeah, that would make sense. 26 checkouts.
And we have 1 copy of it. I had to, and I was like, we don't need to, and I took it out. Who knows?
Actually, you know what? Let's check that really quick.
What are we checking?
I feel a sneeze coming on. Ugh.
You're seeing how many all the Azuls combined are?
Yeah. So the 4 Azul games combined had 82 checkouts.
Where? Oh, it's over there.
Yeah, in an
Oh,
Excel.
I didn't know you could do that.
It's so nice. You just highlight the number cells and boop.
Oh, I don't have to make another sum cell? Well, now I know. All right.
82.
Congratulations to Michael Kiesling. All right. But Reiner Knizia comes in at number 4 with 29 checkouts, Millie Fury. Probably should have put that in the Hot Games table, too. I did not realize how many people would like that one.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's neat. But again, you also can't get it in America, so that's high up there. There's a tie for number 2. First, there's Bad Company. Again, this one's not easy to get, but still, 32 times this game was checked out. That means it was probably almost never in the library. Because 32 times, we were open for 5 days. It's being checked out 6 times a day.
Yeah. It's not long, but it's not short either. It's not a So Clover. It's not a frivolously short game. But, man, people are wild about it.
But the other one, and this blows my mind, that it's number 2, Foundations of Rome. You have to carry this 23-pound game, or however much it weighs. It's not light. To your table, set it up, and play it. They sold Foundations of Rome there, and people ran for them. I don't know how people were getting them home on their plane flights.
More power to you.
And since those copies were there, I saw people playing Foundations of Rome all over the place. And it still got checked out 32 times.
And someone who brought their own copy put a copy of the game on our share shelf. We have a shelf to the side of the library.
I was really surprised about that. I'm like, you're sharing that one?
I know, yeah. So you could just plop a game on there, people could play it, bring it back, and there was a copy of Foundations of Rome on there. And it was, it was in and out a good number of times, so.
All right, folks, in the chat, it's time to guess what was the number 1 checked out game, which I really should have put 2 copies of this in the library. It didn't even occur to me.
35 checkouts.
What game got checked out 35 times?
We should have done this earlier. Now we have to vamp.
Well, yeah, and also we should have done it earlier because we've eliminated a lot of the competition by talking about them.
Right, yeah. No, there's a good standout game. Yeah, that's interesting that Azul, we talked about Unmatched, and I thought that's got to be the most popular family of games in the library. I was surprised that Dice Throne actually outdid that, but yeah, looking at the Azuls, yeah.
Yeah, so
Kiesling did something really, not eye-catching. What is the term? It's something that caught the public eye.
my father's work was not in the library because I had it, but the app wasn't out yet, so I decided I'd put it in the library. All right, well, everyone knows what it is, and that is
Careers.
Cascadia.
Oh.
Careers. Cascadia, and that's amazing because, again, it made me think, I wish I had put 2 copies in because then it would have got played even more.
Yeah, it's funny. When I played it, I thought, this is a really solid, great game. I didn't think that this was going to be necessarily like Game of the Year material.
It did get shut out in the Dice Tower Awards. It lost every category to one other game.
Yeah, but it was nominated a lot. And when you talk about the awards, you always say, if you look at the nominees,
That's true.
they're all great. They're all winners because they stand out, and so one has to win, unfortunately.
All right, folks, before we run off here, if anyone has a question about any specific game, or any other questions maybe, ask us. We can look it up and tell you how many times it was checked out, or why I didn't even have it in the library. Maybe. I don't know.
Right. Is there anything else that was big that wasn't in the library, you think? Because obviously my father's work it couldn't be played at that time.
It couldn't be in. It was too new. I mean, I threw in Stroganoff at the end. How far did Stroganoff get anyway? I don't remember seeing that one.
Stroganoff got checked out twice?
That's weird. So Stroganoff only got checked out twice, and
Hippocrates.
Hippocrates got checked out once. I put in that Rolling Thunder at the very end.
Oh, Thunder Rolls.
Thunder Rolls.
Thunder Rolls got checked out 3 times.
Interesting. All right. Oh, Summit. That's a good one. Summit from...
Some of the board game 3 times.
Interesting. Only 3 times. Pax Pamir.
Oh. Pax Pamir. 4
times. Oh, yeah. Spirit Island. Spirit Island at least was checked out once. That's the expansion.
Jagged Earth was once, 13 times.
That's pretty impressive for a long setup, a lot of teaching. 13 times. We also have a playmat for Spirit Island, so I'm pretty happy about that. Parks.
Oh. Parks got checked out 7 times, and Henry Audubon, the designer, was actually there.
He was there.
He's a really nice guy.
Let's see. Dwellings of Outervale, we already mentioned. Dwellings of Outervale was very high up at 16.
Yeah.
16.
Ispahan, 1 checkout. Thank you for that one.
Well,
person.
what's the follow-up to Ispahan anyway? They remade it as
Corinth.
Corinth.
3 times.
There you go. There you go. Western Legends was pretty high actually. It was 12.
12. Calico.
Calico just missed the top 20.
19.
It was in the 19.
That's still immensely popular.
The Search for Planet X. Oh, that's true.
Search for Planet X 6 times.
By the way, I think you deleted that last.
Oh, did I? Oh, yeah, I accidentally wrote over Calico.
Who cares? All right. Original game Libertad I didn't put in because I figured you don't need both in the library. So I just put in the newest one.
And it's funny because I don't know if we had kept the original one, if it would have gotten checked out that much more, per se. But I'm surprised that the reprint didn't get checked out more.
Why didn't you put the Arcane Wonder sticker on a Thunder Rolls card? Because I let my daughter pick. I gave her no... Actually, I told her one not to put on. But besides that, I said you can put whatever you want on, and I'll let her pick which stickers on. I don't like the way the stickers look on those Thunder Roll cards at all. If I keep that game, and I haven't decided yet, if I keep that in the library, they're getting painted because they do not look good with just the stickers on.
Original Dune, we have the 2019 printing, was checked out 3 times. Dark Tower was never checked out because it was permanently on the Hot Games table.
Core Request, okay.
Oh, Core Request. No results there.
It's in the library, right?
It is it was in the kid shelf.
I thought I saw people playing it. Well,
it's also very small. People could have brought it.
yeah, and again, it was on the kid shelf. Kingdom Death Monster is not in the library. I don't even know how I couldn't put Kingdom Death Monster in the library because it's literally the graphics and stuff in that book. They are like X-rated.
Sure.
In the rule book, there is some really. I wouldn't want like a kid stumbling across those pictures. Actually, I don't want to stumble across those pictures.
Yes.
Painted and the stickers looks good on Thunder Rolls, maybe, but they definitely don't look good on the white cards. All right, okay. What about Lacerda game? So let's talk about Lacerda game. So what's his newest game? Is not Weather Machine.
Mars.
Oh yeah, On Mars.
On Mars. Wow. Yeah. Thank you. On Mars got checked out twice. Lisboa got checked out twice. You said Galler's got checked out twice. I wonder if the same 2 people. Escape Plan.
I don't think Escape Plan counts.
One checkout.
No, the car one. Kanban.
Kanban. Probably the most checked out. 3 times.
Yeah, that makes me think sometimes. Yeah, Planet Unknown was on a thing. Was on the Hot Games table, so was Dead Reckoning. Roam and Roll. That got checked out. I know I saw that one.
Ampersand roll, maybe. One time.
Oh, well, there you go. Only once.
Hadrian's.
Imperial Settlers rolling right. No. That was one given out to everyone who came. So, CO2. CO2 is the last one.
Hadrian's Wall compared to Roman roll. Hadrian's Wall got 7 checkouts. KOTU got 1 checkout. CO2.
Galaxy Trucker. That was pretty high, actually, I think. Or higher.
7 checkouts.
Okay, not maybe that high.
Hey, Drop It got checked out 7 times.
Oath. I'm telling you, Oath is really hard to play at a con. 7 times?
7 times.
All right.
Eat those words, Vasel.
Well, I still wonder how many people got it and just looked at it.
It is.
Or they
it is
already knew how to play it, because that would be a tough one to pull out and learn from scratch. Adventureland. Well, it got checked out at least once, because I did. Maybe you shouldn't use just the word adventure.
Is it?
It's adventure.
It's space, right? There's Adventureland. Okay,
Yeah.
two times.
Were they both me? I'm trying to remember if I played it twice. Coffee Trader. Ooh, that's true. That's a big Euro game that came out in the last couple of years.
Dinosaur Island was checked out 5 times compared to Dinosaur World's 4.
Dualstar, though, got checked out more.
Oh, really? Coffee Traders was 5, by the way. You're right. Dualstar Island was checked out 6 times.
Yeah. Yokohama. I know I saw it getting played once, but
5 checkouts for Yokohama.
I just saw. Oh, that was at the other con I went to. Meadow was 19.
Container 1 checkout.
Super Scale Pinball.
Ramp It Up got checked out 1 time. The original got checked out 4 times. The new upcoming Christmas edition 0 times.
Oh, Terraforming Mars itself.
Terraforming Mars was checked out 7 times. Yeah.
And Ares was checked out 9 times. That's interesting. That's less than I thought. You know, that like Scythe was checked out more than Terraforming Mars. That one's held up better than Terraforming Mars. I'm curious about Terraforming Mars's end game thing.
I don't think we have Raw and Right, the Dinosaur Island one, in the.
No, I don't put
library.
a lot of roll rights in the library because they just don't get played at conventions that much. There's a few that supersede, but like what's the very popular one? Clever. Just do the word Ganshan Clever. I think we have that one in. Yeah, that got played 1 time, and that's widely considered to be one of the best roll and rights.
Yeah, one of the most popular for sure.
Now, I get that the Hadrian's Wall was played more because that has a much more grandiose feel to it. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think. I know there was a roll and write that was somewhat high on the list here. I'm trying to remember what it was. But people just don't generally play those at conventions.
Right. We do not have Oathsworn in the library.
Not yet. It came. It either came right after Dice Hour East or right before, and I didn't have time to put it in. It's going to take some work for me to put it in the library, to put it in some sort of feasible way. I know I can do it.
Sure.
I'm just going to have to take out. I'm going to put in basically where you can play the first 4 missions of Oathsworn, I think, or maybe even only the first 3, because you're not going to play much more than that at a con anyway. But I have to figure out how to rebox all that so it fits in well.
Yeah. So Welcome To got checked out 6 times. Welcome to the Moon got checked out 13
Yeah,
times.
that one is. I'm sorry. Welcome to the Moon is easily the best. Actually, I think that might be the #1 roll and write checkout.
Oh, someone was saying Three Sisters was the roll and write that got checked out the most.
No, Long Shot.
Oh, Long Shot the Dice
Long Shot
game.
the Dice Game, and then Three Sisters. You're right. But also, but roll and writes don't hold up. Both of those games just came out. Long Shot is one I think has a chance. But Three
Yeah.
Sisters, people won't. And I tell you why. Because where are all the other hot ones, again, that people were raving about a couple years ago?
Right, where's Fleet the Dice game?
I don't know if that's in the library, Chris.
Okay, well, where is it, Tom?
I don't have Fleet the Dice game. We never got that one.
Wonderland's War had 0 checkouts because it was permanently set up on a hot games table. And
Yeah.
it got played plenty. It got played a lot.
All right. Well, that's the stats here, folks. I hope you enjoyed that. I like this sort of information myself. And again, it's not perfect, but I think it's pretty good information. Also, it made me happy to see my games get played that much, even if Wendy is currently working full-time on triaging all the missing parts and things of them.
Yes.
I've already gone through the library and marked games that are on the cusp of disappearing, but that's because we got a bunch of games that are coming in. Actually, I don't know why I pointed to that pile over there, because very few of those are making it in. How sad.
That's your call, I guess.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I feel good though, because again, like all these people asking about games, no one asked for games that aren't in the library. And people will come and say, why isn't this game in the library? And it's hard sometimes to justify going to a lot of work to put a game in the library that then gets checked out once or not at all.
Yeah.
And so I never feel bad about that. We have the hottest, newest games. That's usually good enough. But we also like to have a deep library of old classics. I don't mind keeping games in there that don't get played a lot, as long as people are willing to go out and check them out
Right.
once in a while.
Some people have their cars, some people have their lawns and stuff. You have a well-manicured library. And
Yeah, don't look at my lawn. Well, this lawn's fine, but that's because we hire people to do it.
But I think one of the most common compliments we got at Dice Tower East was the library's fantastic. So
I hope so. I mean, again, I always tell people, if someone comes and tells me I look good, they're lying. If they say I do a good job, I will not agree with that, because I feel like that's being egotistical. But if you tell me my library is good, I go, I know. I know it's, I'm just very proud of it. So I should compliment my kids more. All right, let's this is getting deep here. All right, folks, thanks so much for watching. This is the last live thing we have this week. We won't be live too much next week, but we do have a couple live things, including a Q&A and a live board game breakfast on Monday. And plenty of reviews and other videos are going up over the weekend. So there's lots of stuff. Some more reviews and things are going up today. Anyway, until next time, I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Chris Yi.
Have fun crunching stats.